Hi there, welcome to our monthly market update video. An interesting time to be filming this morning. I've just watched the outcome of the US general election. What a surprise result that is maybe for some. We'll see, and I'll talk a little bit about how I think that and wider political events might affect the UK and the regional property market here. Before I do that, I'll just give you a quick recap, of course, on October. Please, though, before I get into the video, just to hit that like button. It really does help us out, and why not subscribe to our channel? You'll get to see lots of nice videos of me filming updates like this. So let's talk briefly about October. We're heading, of course, to the final few months of 2024. It's been an incredible year so far. A huge amount of activity going on, and really October was no different to the months that had come before. That is to say, plenty of new property coming to market. Lots of really good demand, which is underpinned by lenders' ability and willingness to lend their money, and at good rates as well, although we are starting to see a little bit of flex around that. And I think generally speaking, we can quite safely say now that prices do seem to be heading in an upward direction. I'm always very careful about which indexes I listen to, but I think the Land Registry House Price Index is the one that we all should think about more than anything else. It's the source of truth. Really interesting to see their August report, which of course is a few months behind. I'm just going to check some numbers down here, but monthly change 1.5% and annual change 2.8%. But when you drill down and you look at the Yorkshire and Humberside figures, you can see that it's even more impressive for us on a regional basis. One of the best performing regions, prices apparently up 2.7% over the last month, 4.4% in the year. What does that mean to you guys watching? Well, if you take the average price of property across our region according to that index, it means that over the last year we've seen about £10,000 go on to the price of the average home across our region. And our numbers, to be fair, for most of the market would indicate something very similar, if not perhaps just a touch ahead, which again would always be the case. Leeds, of course, being and its surrounding area being a really busy, vibrant city that we know lots of people want to come to. So overall, I think the picture for the rest of this year still looks to be very similar. We'll, of course, do as much activity as we can through November as we head down into the festive period. And then we start to turn our attention to 2025. What do we expect for the market? And I normally do a bit of a recap and end of year update, and that'll probably be in the next month or so. But I'm really interested, of course, in what's going on at the moment in the wider political world. I've just mentioned before about Donald Trump's re-election. That's going to have some trickle-down effects into the UK economy. We know that. Most people saying it's not going to be a great effect, but I don't know. Let's wait and see. I think people are always sceptical, and we'll see how all that pans out. What's more interesting for us was the decisions that were taken in the budget that we heard from Rachel Reeves over the last week. And as the dust settles on the budget, there's been lots of talk, of course, around particularly the changes to national insurance and the increase in wage rises. And that, I think, could, in a way, have, I'd say, not a great effect on the property market. I think employers and employees are going to be hit pretty hard by the changes that they are making in this area. It might mean that people ultimately are taking home slightly less in real terms, and that might impact the amount of money that people have got to spend on their next property. Again, we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. Of course, that change won't come into effect until April of next year, so we have got quite a few months. The big thing for us, and the things that impact the property market, were the decision not to change capital gains tax on property, which was a much welcome piece of news. But then the not so good news, which I referred to in my budget reaction video, which was all around the changes being made to stamp duty. Now, the stamp duty for me is one of the taxes that we just think provides that barrier to people looking to make their next move. The one big impact change that we saw was the stamp duty tax on additional homes, 3% to 5%. The immediate short-term impact of that was we saw some deals being renegotiated, some deals perhaps going by the wayside on the back of that change. That was to be expected. But I think the longer term impact of that is that it is going to reduce the number of people looking to buy property for investment to rent out. And that gives me, alongside the renters reforms changes that are coming, and we've got lots of information on our website about that, the impact on property prices and rental prices likely to be over the next 6 months, year or so. I'm going to put a graph on the screen now, which I think is quite interesting. It gives you an indication of the percentage of pre-tax income spent on rent in the UK. And that really, for me, is already too high. As you can see in Yorkshire and the Humber, 32% of people's pre-tax income is spent on rent. and that's far, far too high. And I think the decision around the stamp duty on additional homes is likely to only increase rents further and maybe make that problem even worse. The other missed opportunity, I think, was the decision not to change the upcoming deadlines that we're seeing at the end of March on stamp duty with the reversion to previous deadlines. Again, we've got lots of information on our website and articles about that, so please read up on that. That for me is going to create a bit of a short-term run potentially on the market. Might move lots of activity forward, can even create a little bit of a spike in prices, and then potentially a bit of an impact point beyond that. But again, we'll have to see how all that pans out, and I won't really know until we get into sort of March, April time, and I'll be able to report to you through these videos. The long-term view, things do look pretty good, and I can't see necessarily any great interference with what's been a very, very good period over the last 12 months, and certainly I would expect for the first 6 months of next year. Beyond that, as I say, stay in touch with us through these videos. We are here to help you on that moving journey. We're here 8 AM till 8 PM, 7 days a week. And as always, we'd love to talk to you about how we can help you move. Thanks for watching.